Well, hi, and welcome to the Mike Koenigs Show, money-making ideas for busy entrepreneurs. This is episode 20 and sponsored by Bulletproof Coffee to supercharge your brain. Now, this episode is all about coaching, and we have a bonus video to share with you, which is why you don't need to be an expert to write a book. Now, I'll tell you first and foremost, entrepreneurs, all of them, everyone that I've ever met, everyone that I've worked with needs coaching. And that's me included. Smart entrepreneurs, all of them, everyone that I know gets coaching. And in my experience, closing deals is the name of the game. And unless you're constantly in a place where you have feedback, constant feedback, you're never going to get better at what you do aside from just trial and error. But the fastest way to hyper-intensify the success that you're going to get in any business is to be around someone who's been there and done that and has usually been working with entrepreneurs just like you so they can compress oftentimes centuries, even millennia, into a short period of time so you don't have to go through all the pain that they have in order to model your way to success. So the coach that I have with me today is a friend of mine. His name is Rich Schefren. And one of the things that he is really good at is figuring out how to just boil things down into the most simple strategies and concepts. And he's also been very successful at figuring out how to build and grow an audience as well. So Rich is the founder of Strategic Profits, and he helps entrepreneurs grow their businesses by helping market what it is that people need, even if they don't know that they need it. Now, one of the other things that Rich is really good at is helping entrepreneurs figure out how to achieve a greater level of freedom in their lives. And he's a good example of a guy who's been able to figure out how to do that for himself and also show other people the path on how to do that. And again, the reason he's so good at it is because he's able to just examine a business model and a process and a structure and be able to deconstruct it very quickly. He's been able to do that with countless businesses, and I've been watching him as he's been in this career now for almost as long as I've been around in this business as well. He's actually been in this side of the business longer than me, going on 15 years or so. So what I will tell you is I've been coaching and being coached for almost 15 years myself. And what I've always found is it's the best investment I've ever made. Because again, as an entrepreneur, we all lose our perspective and we need accountability. We also need connections and resources and tools. And there's a great line that I heard some time ago, and that is, if you don't pay, you don't pay attention. And as my friend Ed Rush likes to say, is he never works with people or anyone who's trying to be cheap on their way to success. What that really means is this, is when you have a coach who's holding you accountable and giving you some constant feedback and you're paying something that's uncomfortable for you, you're going to pay attention to their advice, you're going to implement it, and you're going to get results. And the other thing that I think is an important lesson I learned from John Assaraf is you always want to be the dumbest guy in the room. And if you aren't, you want to check your ego in, because after a period of time, you end up soloing yourself. And that basically means you're around people who are less than you. You start depending on them less. You start getting less advice, not paying attention to the reflections, and you're usually very close to a failure. So what I want to do is get things rolling here with that You Everywhere Now video, and when I come back, I'll be interviewing my friend Rich Schefren. Hi, my name is Mike Koenigs, and you're watching You Everywhere Now TV, and today we're talking about why you don't need to be an expert to write a book. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you in detail how to overcome the fear that you're not qualified to write a book. So I'm going to begin this with a real life story, which is about 3 years ago. I was at Duke University Cancer Center, 2,521 miles away from home, and I was being treated for stage 3A cancer. Now, every day I was waking up in a pile of my own hair, and I had about an hour of strength a day to just get my work done, to do what I needed to do, to communicate, because the rest of the time I was cramped in the fetal position in bed, just dealing with the intense pain that I was going through and the fact that I really was kind of living outside of my body. Now, what I can tell you is I was compelled at that point to start to write a book. I wanted to write a book in case I passed, leaving my, at the time, 9-year-old son and my wife behind. Now, the bottom line is I pulled out my mobile phone and I started speaking my book into my phone and following a system that since I've taught to over 3,000 people. Actually, I had to think about that for a moment. Over 3,000 people how to write, publish, promote, and become best-selling authors. And we know of thousands of books that have been written use this system. And I've also used that same system to now write a total of 10 books that have all gone on to become bestsellers as well. And by the way, we've had a 9-year-old girl who wrote 4 books in 3 months using the system, all the way up to an 80-year-old woman. Her name is Joni Wilson, who's also done that and completely reinvented herself, her business, and her career. So here's my secret. And here's what simplifies the entire process, and it'll help you overcome the challenges. And that is this. You interview yourself or interview other experts that you want to associate with or elevate yourself towards or learn from. Now, what I have learned is that most experts and authors are very happy to be interviewed and respond well to these magic words. And they are, I'd like to interview you for my book or my show or my podcast, followed by a little bit about how it will help them. Now, most of these people, most authors and experts and authorities or celebrities in any other way, shape, or form have gotten to where they are by sharing their message and growing an audience, and many of them will jump at the opportunity. They've had and been given that opportunity by other experts first. So if you're just starting out, you might get a couple of no's at first, but you'll get better, and once you do, the first people who said no might say yes a little bit later. The key thing is, the only time you fail is when you quit. I'm going to give you another strategy right now that I learned from my friend Brian Tracy. And his basic system is to look up and read the top 3 to 5 books on any topic that you want to be an expert on. And he said if you just do that process and you take a lot of notes and you summarize what you learned, you probably know more than most experts in that field or that category. But I'll go so far as to plus that strategy and say, watch TED Talks on that topic or find authors who've written on that topic that you're interested in and done TED Talks. Also, look for them on podcasts and watch and listen to any podcasts or videos that are on YouTube. That's also a really, really great way to just find out how they think, because that's really the magic here. So, at a minimum, you're going to be equipped to be able to speak competently to nearly any audience about what's in there. But in my experience, the interview or interviewing process that you go through simply comes down to researching and finding the top 10 questions that people ask that expert or authority or just want to know, including you, on whatever that topic is. And then find out the nuanced things, what we call the should ask questions. This is what you as an expert wish you'd get asked, or the kinds of things that you know will reveal your secret special sauce, what it is that makes you uniquely you and makes your content really, really valuable. If all you did is pulled out your mobile phone and used an app, it's called rev.com, to record your audio and have that transcribed. That tool will record your audio and you can press the button and have it transcribed by real people. That content can come back to you structured and formatted in such a way that you can turn that into a book. So the bottom line is, in my experience, most people can actually dump the equivalent of a book's worth of content in about a day by using the self-interview or having someone interview them, or even if you're not a topic on or an expert on any topic, have someone else be your expert person. So what I want to do now is just inspire you to become a published author yourself, and the way you can do that is you can take my quick author quiz by clicking on the button below or following the link to learn more and determine if you're the kind of person who should write a book and elevate your expert status or your authority status or even increase your celebrity status. So if you have any other questions or you'd like to find out how to be seen, heard, anywhere, anytime, make sure you head on over to youeverywherenow.com and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel or share it or comment below with all of your friends. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video very soon.